Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Aussie today? So before we get started, I just want to highlight this level here. So this was the previous double top in 2015 on the weekly, and we basically broke it in 2017, and this is the area that we came back and we got sort of bounced off this area, and we're bouncing in a similar area again. So I just want to put that level in there, and let's just put the low of yesterday in. And I also want to put that tail in there, and we want to put this level in here. Okay, so you can see the reason I'm putting all these lines in is you can see how in this chaos here, those lines match up with a lot of the bars, and in here you can see there's a lot happening as well. Okay, so this is a pretty strong zone of support. So let's just get to the daily. Okay, so yesterday we had these tails to the top on the 200 moving average, which I was concerned about, and we fell off 1,200 odd points. Okay, so has that move played out? Maybe not. There might still be some more to come and tag some of these other levels, and there is potential for that. And you can see how the oscillators are pointing to the downside, so it's still a healthy downtrend at the moment. Nothing really to be concerned about for the bears. And you can see we've had the crossover here and we're pointing down the downside. However, levels are important, and we're coming into an area where there are some very strong levels. Okay, so we had a range break. So this was the range. And yesterday I said to you, play the range. So it was short from the top, long from the bottom. Okay, so we'll just have a look at that on a lower time frame. The short was the correct move, and you wouldn't have had an opportunity to get in long. There was no bullish action for you to get it long in. Okay, so what do we want to do here? So first things first. So what we want to do is this range break should technically give us a 1,000-point target, okay? Which is pretty much this pin bar here. Bottom of this pin bar, that is the range break target, okay? So that's the first scenario. The second scenario is that we get a measured move, and the measured move is it moved down, consolidates, and then it broke through the consolidation. So you would expect that move there, which targets these lows here. Okay, so those are the first two bearish moves. Now, when this happens, and I'm just going to go down to the hour for this explanation. So often when this happens on the lower time frames, we have a very strong move down, and then we sort of find a resistance, and you can see from a Bollinger perspective, we're starting to turn, indicating a turn. And this often fails, okay, because you think, okay, this is now turning out to be a double bottom, and we're going to start moving back to the upside. And it often fails with another move to the downside. But what typically happens is it's just a little squirt to the downside, finds support somewhere, and then it starts to move up. Okay, so the Aussie is notorious for this. You can check it on all time frames. You'll see, especially on sort of the 6 and 5, 12, 15, 20 minute, 10 minute time frames, you'll see there'll be a strong move, there'll be a consolidation. You think, right, that was the first move down. Now I'm looking for my second push, and the second push does happen, but it's always this short little move which actually has no relevance. Okay, so those are the three scenarios that I see playing out here. So it's either the measured move is going to play out, this range break is going to play out, or alternatively, what's happening here, and I suppose we have to draw it on the higher time frame, is we have a falling wedge that is forming. Not quite formed yet, but it's busy forming. Okay, so we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. I'd like to see 5, 6 touches in the wedge before to be validated. We also have this diversions backing it up on the 4 hour. Okay, so it's going to delete the diagonal lines so we don't get confused. And let's just get back to the 1 hour. So, okay, we've got those three scenarios. I want to get to the lower time frame even. Okay, so you can see we've consolidated. We are in a pretty strong zone. Okay, so I would suspect that we do find some support somewhere along here. Okay, and we move to the upside. So just before we get there, this range break here, you can see we had no green candles. We had no reversal patterns on the bottom of the range on the 12 minute, all the 6 minutes. So we had this tail here. This was not a confirmation bar. You can see how we stayed below the 5 moving average pretty much. And this is on a 6 minute chart. So you would have had no entry here. Okay. So yeah, you should have held on to this all the way through. Okay. So let's just see what I'm looking for today. Okay, so consolidation at this stage, and there's nothing really what I'd like to see. So there's two scenarios. So the first one is if we do get a break above these fractals here, so break above this downward trend line that we've got in between these two highs, then I'd be convinced that we're moving to the upside. And the first target's going to be a retest of this range. Okay, if that fails and it moves into the range, so be it. Alternatively, is what we're looking for is a break below the low of yesterday, and that would bring in these targets into play. Okay, so for me, it's really going to be about the position of price in relation to these two moving averages. If we are below them, we are short. If we are above them, we are long. Okay, so that's kind of the way I'm going to play it. I'm expecting some support to be found here. And there was a lot of noise coming out towards the US close yesterday where the politicians were trying to stop the rot. And so let's see if that works out or if we fall some more later today. But I think for now, this is a pretty strong area that we're in. And I suspect we're going to find some support at these levels. So if you are short at the open, so if we stay below these moving averages at the open and we continue trending down, then each of these levels is going to be your target that you're going to be looking for. Okay, any bullish action on these levels will result in me looking for a long. Okay, so I think for me, the summary is really just watch the open, see what happens, and looking for a bounce off one of these levels to come and test this range break as a minimum. Okay. So that's my trade for the day. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you guys later.